Welcome to episode 2 of Behind the Bouquet. Today we're here with Rudy Valme from Crossing Midnight Entertainment. But
Hi.
before we get started, just wanted to remind you what Behind the Bouquet was created for, is to get to know me and the LBP team a little bit more personally, and how we interact with you as well as vendors, and just because they're so much fun. And then also get to know some of our favorite vendors that we work with regularly, and get to know them a little bit better, just so you know who you're dealing with when you're putting together this whole wedding. It's very important. So without further ado, this is Rudy. We're so excited to have him here. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you came to found Crossing Midnight.
Sure. So, Crossing Midnight Entertainment. Before I started the company, I had an original band, and we all met in school at Five Towns College, and after a while, I was singing with other companies and doing weddings and events, and I thought to myself that I felt like I can do this. I think this is, I got enough experience, for years of experience, and so I pulled the band together and I said, hey, you want to start doing weddings? Because I used to DJ, and it wasn't my passion necessarily to DJ. I felt like I wasn't out in the crowd enough. I didn't feel that interaction with the guests. So the band agreed, they wanted to do it, so we decided to do it. And so I started the company.
You just got the LLC and
got
put the paperwork in?
I actually left. I went to sing I told them that I would leave to go do a cruise line contract to sing for one contract to save enough money to just start the company up. And I took all of the money that I've made there and put it all towards the business.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
What cruise line?
Royal Caribbean.
Fun. Where'd you travel?
East and West Caribbean. So we did all of the islands. Yeah, it was a great time. We met a lot of people there too. We had a lot of fun.
It's all about who you know, so
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I hear you have an interesting reason behind the name of Crossing Midnight.
Yes, Crossing Midnight. So in class, it's an audio video term, and in class, my professor was kind of going over this process of when you sync film and audio, and after 24 hours, that little clock, and so after 24 hours, it starts all over again at 0. That process is called Crossing Midnight. And he jokingly said in class, cool name for a rock band. And I said to myself, cool name for a band.
You need to store that one right back there.
So I literally went on all social media and took all the Crossing Midnight names, and I said, oh yeah, this is going to be my company name one day.
That's really great.
Yeah, so that's how
I like
got
that.
name.
I like it a
Crossing
lot.
Midnight. It's a cool term.
Was singing something you were passionate about from an early age?
Yes. In fact, I think I came out of the womb singing.
Oh,
my mom.
We need those videos.
My mom said that I used to sing all the time. I sang everything from Elvis Presley to Michael Jackson to Stevie Wonder to Usher to Boyz II, name it, whoever sang. But I sang a lot of the old school stuff because my mom used to listen to a lot of the, so that's what I grew up listening to because of her and my father. So that's pretty much what I sang. Yeah, Stevie Wonder.
All the good stuff.
MJ, yeah.
That stuff never ages.
Never
Nope,
ages.
you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And I come from a family of musicians, so I think that's why it was in me. My grandfather was a singer. He was he's part Dominican, and he was in the Latin community. He toured all the Latin countries singing. And my father plays percussion for a Haitian band, very big Haitian band. I like to call them the Earth, Wind, and Fire of the Haitian community. Yeah.
How do you take care of your voice during the week?
Lots of tea and honey.
Okay.
Lots of tea and honey. I actually started to take vocal lessons in college. That was the first time I actually took vocal lessons. I went back to college. So I actually, from time to time, still go back to my voice coach just to, as I call, a tune-up. But during the week, I practice and then vocal rest.
Okay, so by practice you mean you just like throw the computer on, throw the music on, and sing with it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you keep the vocalist, like who actually sings the song, and you kind of do background, or you just turn the vocals off?
Both. If I'm learning a song, I keep the vocalists on. You know, I keep the actual song on, and I sing along with what I'm. But yeah, it's just a lot of vocal exercises also. I also find that exercising and cardio does help.
Probably keeps the air going. So what's the practice schedule like for Crossing Midnight Entertainment?
So our band doesn't practice anymore. Which is kind of cool.
Secret.
Yeah.
Cool thing.
We've been together for so long. I mean, we are a set band.
So how long have you been together?
Our company is active 9 years, almost 9 years.
So you started around the same time.
Yeah, and the band was together 3 years before that. So I guess
college?
In college.
Okay.
So, so we've been together for 12. So we know each other. We have a chemistry. We play 2-3 times a week.
Right.
You know, sometimes 4 together at events. So it's like, you know, we have a really good chemistry.
Okay.
And that's, you know, each of our musicians in the band, they're very responsible in learning what needs to be learned as far as their parts for each song, and if I have new songs, so I'd say, hey guys, we're learning this song, we're adding it to our list. By the time the next show happens, they've already
done it.
Yeah, they know it.
It's important that you can count on your people, so that's good.
Yeah, they're very responsible, so I like that. I appreciate that.
So it's important when a client comes to you or a planner comes to you that they have, you know, this wedding coming in 6 weeks. What do you need from them? Do you need, you know, song highlights, songs that they definitely don't want to be played, songs that they do want to be played?
Pretty much all of that, really. So we like to get a recommendation list from them. Songs that they like, favorite artists, favorite songs, etc. And what I do from there is, you know, I'll send the songs to the band, and, you know, throughout the night we'll call and pick and choose, you know, what works for their event.
So you're saying that you don't have a set playlist?
No, I don't have a set playlist.
That's shocking to me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we like to call each job uniquely. So, you know, every event, every wedding is different, and, you know, and so are the guests. So, you know, for us to put together a set list, and that list might not work. So what I like to do is, you know, I kind of read the crowd and see, you know, because, for example, like a client can say, hey, you know, we have a top 40 heavy crowd, you know, which is all top 40. We want to dance in top 40. Sure, no problem. We'll start the night off playing top 40 and no one wants to dance. So you throw on a Motown song and all of a sudden, packed dance floor. So I like to kind of, you know, call each job or each event, you know, differently. So I just see what works for each crowd.
I appreciate that. And do you also appreciate having, you know, a planner present to help you call the crowd, or maybe throw a suggestion your way, and working with the maitre d' as well to make sure everything's in sync?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything helps. That, especially having a planner on, because usually if I'm on a wedding where there isn't a planner, I'm literally the acting planner, as well as the band leader, as well as,
you have to wear many hats.
Yeah, exactly. And so especially when I see you on the scene, I'm like, yes, I know that I can focus on being a singer and being, you know, a band leader and emceeing the job, and not have to necessarily worry about the other details.
When other things are going to happen.
Right. You know, you just give me the cue and I go, you know. So it does help, and it's actually a really big help. But yeah, no, it's all helpful.
And to piggyback on all of that, when you say you're calling the list kind of on the spur of the moment, what does that mean? So you're out in the crowd singing, you know, Pitbull, and then you just turn around and you give them a look, like, this is the next song?
So what I do is we have hand signals. You know,
can you show me one?
Sure. So if I'm in the crowd and whatever song I'm singing, and let's say I want to go to Ain't No Mountain,
Okay.
right? So I'll just turn around and I do this to the guys so they know I'm calling a song. So they know, like, all right,
That's the
hey, I'm calling a song.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll do this or whatever, and they might not know if I'm either calling something or I'm stopping the music, but if I do this first, they know, okay, whatever's coming next is the signal. So, I'll do like, this Ain't No Mountain, We Found Love, I Want You Back is something like this. I won't give you all of our secrets.
Wow, that's inside scoop, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of different little hand signals.
That's very interesting.
There's a few that I want to keep to myself.
Of course, yeah, so nobody else can steal that.
That's right. But yeah, no, that's again, that comes from knowing each other and having a set band. Just so you know, like with Crossing Midnight Entertainment, we have multiple bands, as you know, but each band are set, so they're set members. So with our band, we have a set. Let's say it's a 9-piece. We have our set 9 that we go out with. We have our horn section. It's always Chris and Pat.
And you come in a band. You have a van, not a band. A van.
Well,
or everybody arrives at different times.
Yeah, everyone arrives at different times because our sound team and our production team will come early, and then the musicians will come after. So it's kind of like everyone just shows up. But they're all responsible enough. I tell everyone, hey, you need to be there for, let's say, 4 o'clock for load-in, sound check, and make sure everything is good. They'll get there for 4 o'clock and be ready to go.
Good to go.
But yeah, so we have set bands. So I brought that up to say that they all know me and they all know my signals. And it's not like I'm working with different musicians every week. You know what I mean? So Crossing Midnight is Crossing Midnight, Till Dawn is Till Dawn, After Dark, etc. So that does help a lot.
So there's 3 bands.
There's 3, and we're in the process of building a 4th.
Nice. Can you tell us? I know Crossing Midnight is more, the big wedding band, the powerhouse almost, and then you have After Dark. That's a smaller.
After Dark starts out at 5 pieces. Their specialty is the more of the classics, like the classic rock, the Motown disco, but we add 2 singers additional to them so they can handle the top 40, and we don't need to add additional singers, but because they can handle the top 40 stuff as well. But some clients like to have the 3 front, you know what I mean? So we can do that as well for them. Till Dawn, they're kind of like a spin-off of Crossing Midnight in a way, because before I build them, they were kind of my subs, right?
Got it. Because you can't work every day of the week or 365 days a year.
Well, I can. I'm a machine.
Superman over here.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but no. What it is like, let's say, God forbid, someone in Cross Midnight gets sick. Like, let's say my guitar player gets sick for some reason. You can't help that, right? So I always had the same guitar player for my backup. Right. Same for keys. That way, that chemistry doesn't go away.
Absolutely, so you're only as good as your team, so you need to make sure that all your bases are covered at all times. Right,
exactly. And I never call just random musicians in the street like, hey, are you gigging this weekend? I need you to come.
You don't want me to come sing?
Anytime. But anyway, so long story short, I decided to build a second band because we started getting overbooked. So and we don't send out 2 Crossing Midnights, we only send out 1. So we decided to build Till Dawn, and they all became Till Dawn. They're now gigging as Till Dawn.
So now choreography. Do you do that by yourself? Is it like certain songs have
certain moves?
I mean, this is my go-to, so clearly would not be good for
that works. I use that in some songs. Well, I do have some input, and also the ladies in the band have the input as well. We kind of put together, moves,
Do those have signals as well?
Well, no. So each song has specific, not every song, but a lot of songs have specific choreography at certain parts, right? So some songs it's just like, hey, we're just rocking out, let's have fun, and and we just kind of do what comes to us.
And you go in the crowd, right?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Do you like going in the crowd?
I live there.
Ooh.
I live there.
I actually, every time we work together, I think, I'm like, hey, Rudy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I live there. I feel like I like to give my energy to everyone, and I like to also receive that energy. So, just standing behind the mic on the stage
Doesn't do it for you.
Doesn't do it for me. I mean, I do it within reason. I'm not always out there. I come back and let them have their fun, and it's all about the couple. But I do get out there and interact and have some fun with them. I've been thrown in the air and crowd surfed in some of these events by the crowds. I'm like, okay.
How do you so you have, for Crossing Midnight specifically, you have 3 lead singers, you and the 2 women.
Malika and Melissa.
Malika and Melissa. And how do you choose who gets what song?
So there's actually 4 singers in the band total. There's myself, my bass player Dre, he also sings, and then Melissa and Malika. As far as choosing the songs, well, Melissa will handle all of like the Latin songs. Obviously, she's Hispanic, so she'll handle all the Latin music. And then I don't know. It's kind of like I don't tell them which songs to sing. I pretty much, unless it's like specific, I know that like, okay, let's say a first dance song is, I know Melissa has done this one before, or Malika has done this, and it kind of fits.
So they don't come into the night knowing like, oh, I'm singing the first dance song.
Well, that, yes, they know ahead of time like who's singing first dance song if it's a female singing it. But outside of that, I kind of let them choose. I kind of say, hey, ladies, we're adding this song by whoever, Rihanna or whoever it is, and I come to the gig and they'll say, yep, I got it. And you say, okay, cool. And they have a great chemistry, so they'll know, ahead of time, because they both learn all of the songs. So if for some reason, say the client only does like a smaller piece, or I have to go out with just one, then I know that they all know all the songs. So, but they're good about sharing, which is cool.
So as I was preparing for our conversation today, I was trying to think of some industry trends that I've seen for bands and what's new and hot. And aside from, all the technological aspects of it, that can be heavily incorporated, I was noting that in all of my weddings, the slow dances have kind of vanished.
Yes.
It's all about, high octane, like dancing on the dance floor. That's all couples want.
Yes. So that has become a trend where a lot of our couples will say, we don't want any slow music. We just want right from the beginning, dancing. There are a few that would say, start the night off, as people are coming in slow. But I like to start it off with
just go right to the point.
Go right in it. Yeah, it's a party. You want your guests to dance, and a lot of them agree. They just want them dancing. Which actually one of the other trends with that is that they've cut out, like the garters and bouquets, and even like
because it stops the
it stops the flow of the night. So they're kind of like
even like the cake cutting. I do private cake cutting
options,
which is I love the private cake cutting.
Yeah, so do we. So do we. We love it. It's like they're out, because it doesn't. For us, when we're in a rhythm, it's like everybody's dancing. You don't want to necessarily stop just for.
And for those of you who don't know, private cake cutting is my team. We pull the bride and groom and their parents off to the side for a photo op with the cake.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And meanwhile, the guests are dancing.
Yeah, nobody will even know.
Right.
So this is a crazy business. Aside from the long hours and everything that it encompasses, what keeps you in this type of business? Like, what excites you still?
Oh, there's a lot, actually. So my passion for music.
Okay.
So that in itself is.
Is it like the new songs that come out that you can learn?
Just in general. I don't mind singing the same song over and over, week in, week out kind of deal. Like,
what's your favorite song to sing?
My favorite song to sing, I have a lot, but one that's kind of, dear to me is "Don't Stop Believing," and I wear like an armband, which by the way is one of my signals for if I call this song, I just go.
I know those.
Right, and the band knows. But that song, it means a lot to me because it's as an artist and as a musician and even trying to build a business, I constantly remind myself to don't stop believing, just keep going at it, keep pushing, and, you know, so it's.
And that's the perfect last song, right? Or do you like doing it somewhere else?
I switch it up. I throw it in sometimes more like in the beginning, first set kind of thing.
So people can like start singing, the drinks are flowing, like
they're
lose their inhibitions a little bit.
I find if I do it, you know, maybe first or set or second set kind of deal, that, you know, they're already in it. Then they're singing along, you know, and dancing to it. But my last dance songs are a little bit different every time. I like to read the crowd. I like to see where we are and what kind of, you know what I mean? There are some crowds that, you know, that
they need
last
a party
song
song, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's some crowds that, you know, I don't want to give off my secrets. But let's just say I like to switch it up.
Do you play an encore? One more song?
You know what? Song?
Or do you like, because I know a lot of times the venues, they will literally like unplug you.
Yeah, it's a hard stop,
Yeah.
right? I guess one of my tricks is I'll kind of a few minutes early call the last song. But I've been blessed, I guess, to say in the last couple of years that we've gotten a lot of one more song chants. So, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling to hear, you know, one more song. In fact, we just did a wedding. It was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, where we had 3 one more songs at the same night. Like,
and you were able to do them?
Yeah, because the maitre d' loved us so much. Ooh. And they were already having an after party in the lower room, but he was like, play another one, you know, because the crowd was so into it, and we were into it, and it was a great wedding, and it was just like, one more song. So we did one more song, and then we did our big finish, we thanked everyone, and it just wouldn't stop. One more song. It just kept on going. So we actually did 3
Do you remember what songs?
That we did for the encore songs. We did Lose Your Love. Okay. It was like that type of crowd. So we did Lose Your Love. We did Mr. Brightside. I think Mr. Brightside was the final.
That's one you don't hear.
One song.
That's a great.
Yeah. And what was the other one?
Shut Up and Dance With Me?
No, I think it was My Own Worst Enemy.
Oh, okay.
By Lit. So, yeah, it was like one of those nights where they were just like, yeah.
They're ready to party.
Oh,
It's a good thing they had an after party.
Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't My Own Worst Enemy. It was Nirvana. What was the
That's
name
okay.
of the song?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but anyway, that song. Nirvana, yeah. It's a good song.
Do you have anything else you want to chat about? Otherwise, I'd love to get you singing something to share with our audience.
Sure.
Yeah?
I don't mind. Yeah, we can sing.
Cool. Let's go.
All right. Let's go.
All right.
All right. So, So this song is a song like so this is how I kind of go through my process in I guess learning and singing a song. You know, this is Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur.
Okay.
And so what I do is I'll play. So the way I would, let's say if I was learning this song, for example, how I would learn it, I would learn the melody first, and then once I have that in my head, you know, I hear it, and then I can start singing the words, right? Okay. So I'll just play play a little bit of it, I guess.
Look that way.
Look this way.
Imagine a whole wedding crowd out there.
So what I do is I turn that a little bit. So I would hear this song, and I would hear the melody, and then I would kind of look at the words, and I'd go from there. And then I just kind of just start singing, really.
This is a beautiful song.
It is. I love this song.
I'm just waiting for you to sing.
I'm just... Wrong part, sorry. No. I don't know the song now. It's just going blank.
You got it.
Whatever. So we'll do it like
start
this.
over.
No, it's fine. No. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. That's what you get.
That's what we got?
That's it.
No. One more song. One more song.
All right.
Sing with you.
All right.
It's a little bit different. There's a camera here. Usually it's just like you have a crowd going. I mean, I can pour some drinks and like get going.
All right. So let me.
Yeah, warm up. Do what you need to do.
All right.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Let me think of something. Okay, so.
Dude, don't stop believing.
Don't stop. Okay, all right. It's a belty song, so I'll do it anyway. Okay, here you go. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
Yay, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, so that was perfect. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it. And it was just nice to reconnect with you and get to know you a little bit better.
You're awesome. I can't wait to work with you again.
You're very kind. So, Rudy from Crossing Midnight, Janine from Labella Planners. We are wedding and event planning pros. We're here for you. And 2019 is going to be great.
Yes.
Thanks for everything, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.